Alrighty, folks. Let's go over here. Get this one started. What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jaded Sports Dude, coming to y'all live from my apartment. Hopefully, you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic. And I'm here to provide y'all with just a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks. It is time for New Mexico State versus UTRGV, a matchup between these two squads. Actually, round number 2 from last season, and it's a part of our over month-long journey to go back and watch as many of these games from the Aggies 2019-2020 campaign, with the exception of a couple that we've had some copyright claim issues with. But other than that, we have been good for all of conference play, and so have the Aggies. They are still undefeated right now. I believe they are currently 12-0. I always say I believe because I forget where we're at in the season, but they are 12-0 in conference play right now and trying to improve to 13-0, fresh off of a thrilling victory over Utah Valley by a score of 84-82, courtesy of a game winner by Jabari Rice. And then tonight's game should be just as thrilling, where they face off against a very gritty Vaqueros squad. And as you can see, the guy here on the screen, Javon Levi, somebody who didn't play in the first matchup, and he was the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. So a really big addition for the Vaqueros. We should have a good one on our hands here. Let me go ahead and turn on this light real quick, because the lighting is not the best. Go. I don't know how much that helps, but we'll see right now. For those following the live stream, you know the routine by now. I need to pull it up here on my phone so that way I can change the title and then make sure I'm in frame and all of that good stuff. And then we will get started with today's live stream. Let's see. The title right now should still be versus Utah Valley, because it's always the most recent title that you've used. So we're just going to change that to UTRGV. That should be all. Let's take a look at it in my in frame. I do appear to be in frame. Let's get this one started then, folks. Yeah, Javon Levi had to miss the first game against the Aggies because there was a family emergency that happened with them, I believe just the day before the game. So he was a late scratch. However, he is here for this one. We are at the Pan American Center. I know normally I'm drinking my water, but I am pretty sleep deprived these past couple days. There's been a lot of just editing videos, writing scripts for the web series and stuff like that. So I am drinking some soda right now. That's pretty much my version of coffee. I don't drink coffee, but whenever I need to wake up, usually I drink soda, which is very rarely. It's very rare. It's like less than once a week. But yeah, I needed it today. You see Johnny McCants, no good on the shot. It was buffering there for a second, but that is the actual video since it is fully downloaded right now. For some reason, that's just a part of the video. Vaqueros with the ball here. Gets it to Levi. To Leslie Varner. Quentin Johnson II. Just a lot of really good players on the UTRGV squad. There's a reason why they made that second half push in conference play to eventually get the 2 seed. So we see the foul there. I believe on Jabari. They might have called that on Johnny, actually. So we saw Johnny reach in. I do have it on mute, so I'm not fully sure. I apologize. But by the way they're showing Jabari, I'm just assuming he was on him. See Jordan Jackson already holding his hand there. You can see that right here. Not sure what happened. He did play this game. I don't remember him leaving or anything like that, but it did look like he banged up his hand on that play. First one's no good for Leslie Varner. Second one is up, cash money. I've said it before, Leslie Varner, one of my favorite players outside of New Mexico State. As you can see, the antics are already starting just a little bit. Oh, you want this basketball right here? I don't mind it. I think it's all part of the good competition. But there definitely was a little extra tension between these two teams. As you guys will see, there was a couple more stuff that went on this game. And yeah, like I said, I don't mind it. That's kind of UTRGV's playing style. Some people call it dirty. I just say that they're a bit of an in-your-face type of team, which every conference needs a couple of those. So we see Quentin Johnson the second hitting that one. Freshman for the Vaqueros, I believe a true freshman. No, redshirt freshman. But either way, first year of eligibility for the Vaqueros. Actually had a pretty solid season, averaged around 7 points. I was talking about him in the Aggie mailbag, the most recent one. If you guys haven't checked out that video, it is here on our YouTube channel, or the written version is on lcsunnews.com. As you see Evan with the pull up there. I really like Quentin Johnson's game. I think he's going to be in for a big season with Jordan Jackson no longer in the mix, or Leslie Varner. The only returning portion of UTRGV's big three is Javon Levi, and he's not really a huge scorer. He's more of a facilitator. So I'm expecting, I would expect Quentin Johnson to get to double digits this upcoming season in terms of points per game. And he kicked off this one with a corner three. Had a pretty decent game in this one. I think he finished with around 9 points, something like that. Solid player for sure. Varner going to extend his range, but they will call a charge beforehand. Johnny McCants drawing that one. Looked to be on Jordan Jackson. There you go. Somebody who absolutely torched the Aggies in that first meeting. I think he had over 20. I want to say it was 23, 26, something like that. Johnny already going like that as he's hitting the deck. Yeah, Jordan Jackson, a dangerous scorer, without a doubt. Mexico State already 0 for 3 from distance, and they trail 4-2 with 2 minutes off the clock. Make that 6-2, courtesy of none other Jordan Jackson with that mid-range pull-up. As good of a mid-range shot as anybody in the WAC. Definitely where he thrives. It's crazy athleticism as well. We saw a couple really good highlight dunks out of him in that first meeting. I don't remember any from this one, but I'm sure we'll get a couple. So we see Evan with the ball in the corner here. Thought about it, but he will drive instead. Can't finish. Yvonne, but I believe, are they calling that block on Javon Levi? If so, I should have showed that clip when I did my Aggie mailbag, because I showed one from this game where he got a rip on Trev. But they're calling that a block from Levi. That is really impressive. They said WAC Defensive Player of the Year. But he is coming back, and they're going to call that reach on Evan. Or no, they're not, apparently. Again, I have it on mute, so I apologize, guys. We got a 6-2 lead for UTRGV right now. 17 minutes and change. A little physical down low with Johnny and Johnson. Johnny and Johnson make that 0 for 4 for the Aggies from distance to start this one. It's Terrell Brown can't cash in. Trevelyan Queen on the court here, his third game back. Second game back in the starting lineup since returning from his injury. Good hustle there by Evan, but can't quite come up with it. The steal here. Sloppy plays so far from both squads. I don't remember if this was Trev's breakout game or not, because it did take him a little while just to get back into the rhythm of things since he returned ahead his schedule from his injury. Let me see. So it was either this one or the following game against Grand Canyon. Well, I know for sure he had a good game against Grand Canyon, but I don't remember if this one he also did. Pretty solid game. I wouldn't call it his breakout game or anything like that, like his return game. I won't say the stat line just because we're going to watch this whole live stream. We'll look at the box scores at halftime and at the end of the game like we normally do. But yeah, solid output by Trev. Definitely his best one since he came back. As he had, I believe, just 2 points the first time and 2 points the second time. Kicking it out to Terrell Brown. 3-point shot, no good. Aggie's still struggling from distance. And they're just on a scoring drive in general. Pull up three, cash money by Leslie Varner. This video is a little weird right now. There's been a little bit of buffering. It looks like it's been lagging, and then we got some weird jump cuts. Like I said, it is fully downloaded, so like I could skip it to right here, and it'd be just fine. So it shouldn't be buffering. That's actually just a part of the video. Don't know what's going on with this one. This video is coming to us courtesy of NM Aggie Athletic Archive. Shout out to them as always for providing all these videos for us. Yvonne going to work down low. They're going to call a jump ball here. UTRGV playing physical from the start. And they got a 9-2 lead right now with 15:23 on the clock. Look at Mario Moshe there. Braun, one of his right-hand guys. Johnny McCants still can't get that 3-point shot to fall for New Mexico State. 0 for 6, something like that. Not what you want to see out the gates. Meanwhile, UTRGV been shooting pretty well, getting good looks. Von Levi. That's good defense by Johnny. That perimeter defense, something we were talking about in that episode of Straight Shooter that we released on Wednesday. It's a good effort there by him. If you guys haven't checked out that video, definitely go do that. Because that was a really good one. I've had multiple people tell me that's their new favorite episode of Straight Shooter, so it's always great whenever people say that. Sean Buchanan looks like he stepped out of bounds here. Yeah, I've had multiple people tell me that that one with Johnny is at the top of their list now. I had a feeling when I was editing it and looking back at it that, because you can kind of get a better sense of like which one is going to do really well in terms of views and stuff like that. And I could definitely tell that people were going to enjoy this one. First of all, Johnny being a Las Cruces native, he's a real fan favorite in town. Also, him being a returning player, so a lot of times the players that are returning, those views do the best because, you know, the fans want to know what's happening with the guys that are going to be playing for the Aggies next season, you know what I mean? So I had a feeling with that one. And then Johnny's just always a great interview. Really good at breaking down plays, stuff like that. And has a really good sense of humor too, which is good for this web series because like half of it is just for jokes, for laughs, you know, show the personality of the players. Yeah, always good talking to Johnny. Looking forward to covering him this upcoming season. And again, we got that buffering thing there. Trev driving, kick out to CJ. Cash Money, another guy I interviewed for Straight Shooter. Speaking of good senses of humor and all that kind of stuff. That was one of my more, I guess you can call it underrated interviews. Just ones that, one of those that is one of my favorites as well. CJ, that extra pass. They're going to call a charge on Yvonne. Is that Jordan Jackson drawing that? Let's see. It is. 3-on-1. Steps in. It's a brave man stepping in front of Yvonne. Taking that contact. Preserves a 9-5 lead for the Vaqueros with 13:29 left in the first half. Levi with the ball here. "15 seconds on the shot clock. On an island with Sean. Put him on skates a little bit. Sean's able to recover and contest that shot. Jabari going the other way, driving. And they're going to call a foul on the floor beforehand. Interesting. Let's see. There was definitely a foul on the shot, but it looks like they're calling it on the deck as the refs are discussing things here. Yeah, it looks like there was a foul beforehand. There was a bump. Alrighty, and we're good to get back to the action. 9-5 right now, 13 minutes and 2 seconds left in this first half. Sean Buchanan with the ball. 15 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to work here. CJ, they're just swinging around the perimeter. And it looks like they're saying that Will hooked them here. We should get an instant replay. That looked to be the motion that the ref was making there. Yeah, didn't get it, but it looked like that. Look, he pushed them out of the way. So Vaqueros going the other way. Levi with the basketball. Yeah, it is a team it's going to slow it down. They like to get a lot of their points in the half-court setting. Just real grinded out type of games. That's where UTRGV has its best chance of winning. So we see a 3 ball there, makes it 12-5, and I believe that's Freeman. I believe so. Let's check that out real quick, make sure I get it right. McLean. Freeman is number 0. My bad. Little step-in shot by CJ, no good. Offensive rebound by Jabari, and they're going to call a foul. That is on McLean. Second effort by Jabari, something he did all season. So we got a short break here. How long is this video? Oh, it is a long video. There were a lot of stoppages with some of the extracurricular stuff going on in the court. So maybe that's part of it, but it looks like we got about an hour 45, a little bit less than that. Not really in too much of a rush. Honestly, I'm going to sleep as soon as this live stream is over. Stayed up pretty late last night getting ready for that Sean Buchanan interview, and then also had a feature on Armando Viescas, Las Cruces senior running back. Just put out that feature today. So I was working on that as well. So another long night. The night before was really long with Aggie mailbag, where I stayed up until like 6 a.m. And the night before that, I stayed up really late for the Straight Shooter episode. Because again, I don't know why I decided to say Wednesdays and Thursdays and bunch them together. I should have spread it out. But yeah, it's been back-to-back days of just really late nights. So that's why I'm drinking some soda right now, and I am catching up on my sleep this weekend. Luckily, I don't have anything going on this weekend since they are my off days. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. So we see the free throw good. My bad, guys. Give me 1 second. Cool. Sorry about that, guys. With my sports editor, Jason Groves, gone for this week on vacation. As you see, Evan missed that 3 wide right. I've been having to work with design a lot more, getting the whole sports paper set up and all that kind of stuff for every day for print. So I'm just messaging some people from design right now, getting everything sorted out. As we said, I didn't remember any dunks from Jordan Jackson, but I was like, I'm sure he has a couple in this one. Sure enough. Jesus. I must have been looking on my phone when that happened. I apologize. But, jeez, I would have loved to have seen, like, I know they don't do it for conferences, but I would love to see at WAC Vegas them actually having, like, an all-star game type of thing. I think that would be so cool. Which they're never going to do because that's not a thing that colleges, that the NCAA does, especially within one conference instead of just the whole country. But Jordan Jackson definitely would have been in a dunk contest. Him, Trev, I was going to see Evan hitting that three, by the way. Him and Trev, who are some other guys that would be on it. Maybe Isaiah White from Utah Valley. Put him in there. There's a lot of guys. I'm probably forgetting a few, so apologies for that. But yeah, that would be cool. Evan with the basketball here, knifing his way into the lane. A kick out to Trev, right back. He's thinking about it. He's going to drive instead. And this one he will pull the trigger on. No good. But we got a foul. And it looks like Jackson fouled. Oh, this is it. Yeah, okay. This is that foul. I think this ended up being a flagrant. Yeah, this was just unnecessary. I mean, very obviously, nobody, first of all, nobody goes up to block with two hands. And then also, Yvonne's right there. As we see, it looks like he's bleeding here in the nose. You got no reason to go up like that in his face. Very obvious call to make there. Stephen M. says, thank God it's Friday. Sold any shoes today? I have not sold any shoes, but I'm looking over here. These just came in, which I'll show you real quick. These are pretty cool. So pretty much when the, as we see the foul there again on Jackson, pretty much during the off season, I like to kind of stock up on getting new pairs of shoes because during the season I'm wearing one to every single game. And so I had a buddy of mine customize these, which I don't know if it's going to show very well, but they are Darth Maul custom. So you got the lightsaber handle, and then you've got the actual lightsaber. So these are pretty cool. These just came in today, and I don't think I'm going to wear them until the season starts up. I might wear it for the first game of the season, honestly, because I really like them. But yeah, I'm going to save these until the start of the year. And that's pretty much what I do in the off season. I'll just like get a new pair, maybe like one or two every month, and just slowly stock up on them. But yeah, really excited that those came in. I've been waiting for like over a month for those to come in because they take a while. But yeah, shout out to my buddy for doing that for me. Stephen M says, sweet, yes sir. Yeah, really big Star Wars fan, so Darth Maul, I think I might get some gold laces for them or something like that. I think that'll look pretty cool to be like the gold horns that he has or whatever. But yeah. So we see Yvonne at the free throw line. Got it to go. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty, I get that the coach has to argue about it because, you know, that's his team, but it's a pretty clear cut call right there as Yvonne misses that second one. A little update with Stray Shooter, guys. Sean does have a job in the summer. I don't know where it is, but he had to work overtime today, so we had to postpone the interview until Monday, which is not a problem. So I didn't get to do it today. I still have all the questions and everything like that, and we already set up a time for Monday, so we're still good to go for that. But yeah, it didn't happen today, which is fine because, like I was saying, today's been a really long day for me. Getting that feature out, and then also I was writing the script for Stray Shooter, so I was up until like 4 a.m. Pretty tired. I'm going to sleep as soon as this live stream's over, so honestly I wasn't even mad when Sean said that we had to postpone it. So we see Vaughn missing, but yet another shot by Johnny, and this one's in, plus the foul. And one. One free throw for the Cruces Crusaders. He tries to tie this contest up. Tough. He's been on a roll lately. 2 games ago, I believe it was, he had that career high. 18 rebounds, 15 points. Somebody who really just stepped up his game all the way up this season. I felt he had a good case for an all-WAC second-team selection, but then again, I get it, since they already had Jabari, they had Yvonne, they had Trev on the second team. It's a little hard when there's 10 spots for the entire conference to put 4 New Mexico State players. Even with it being the best team in the conference, it's just hard to see that. So I think that played a factor in it, but definitely Johnny made a case for one of those spots this past season, and I think he's going to be an all-WAC first-team selection this year. Cameron Montaño says, as a Star Wars fan, do you like the movies or the animated series? Better I like the movies just because of nostalgia, but I watched the animated series as well, so I follow all of it. But yeah, I would say nostalgia. That was just I think that was probably the first movie, just franchise in general, that I actually followed as a kid growing up. That was probably the first one that I actually watched, because I'm trying to think of other ones like the Harry Potter franchise and stuff like that. I watched that later on. Star Wars was the very first one that I got really obsessed with. So yeah, and then Darth Maul being one of my favorite people from just the franchise in general. So I really wanted to get those done. Yeah, and it's actually the only pair of custom shoes that I have, just because they take so long to come in. It's usually over a month, and I'm just not a very patient person. But for these, I just wanted to wait for them. I was willing to wait. So you see a mid-range pull-up by Jabari, got it to go down. Again, I am messaging the design team right now, guys, so I apologize for being on my phone, as we see Trev with the block looking like his old self. I feel like every time I look down at my phone that I'm about to miss a highlight, as we see Evan cashing in. That's his second triple. And we got a timeout, so this is a good time for me to message the design team right now. Cool. (18-14), New Mexico State with the lead right now. 7:30 left in this first half. Vaqueros had an early lead here. The Aggies have answered back. Leslie Barner. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Where do you want him to score from? He'll go out there and he'll do it from three-point range, mid-range, up close. He'll defend pretty much anybody on the other team. So well-rounded. So we got Jabari with the basketball here. Gets it to Johnny. And it looks like they're saying that was tipped. It will stay with the Aggies. Yeah, I'm drinking Coke right now. I'm not a coffee person. I don't drink coffee. So whenever I'm tired, soda's usually the way I wake myself up. So we got Evan with the basketball. Gonna have to put it up. I was gonna say such a good defender, Javon Levi, but I think pretty obvious at this point. As good as it gets in the conference, and he does a good job there staying in front of One of the quickest guards in the WAC. Look at the field goals there. 6 for 20 for the Aggies, 6 for 14 for the Vaqueros. Kick out here. This is Quinton Johnson. Gets to the Varner. Good contest there by Johnny. They're going to find him. Ooh. What are they saying here? Do you have it muted, guys? My apologies. I believe they just called a foul. Yeah, foul on the floor, but they are in the bonus, so this is one free throw for Johnny and possibly another. Got that one to go. 3-point contest. Yeah, I believe the score in this one wasn't fully a reflection of just how close this was. UTRGV is a team that plays New Mexico State pretty close. I think it's a team that matches up really well with the Aggies, just because they do have a problem with turnovers, and UTRGV is going to get in your face, cause a lot of mistakes. This game, I want to say, ended up being around, I haven't looked at the box score, so I don't remember what it is, but I think it was around like a 16-point game, something like that. But I'm pretty sure that was just a late push by the Aggies. This was a pretty closely contested game. Definitely a heated game, as we already saw that foul by Jackson. And there was a little bit more with Javon Levi, which we will see. But again, I don't have a problem with the trash talking, or as we see Jabari with 3-point shot. I don't have a problem with the trash talking or just a couple of these little antics. It's really just the cheap fouls, like what we saw with Jordan Jackson on Yvonne. That's kind of where I'm like, okay, like you're doing too much. But like the little head games, I don't mind that. I think that just adds to the competition. So we see a poor pass there by Trev, and that'll go the other way. Yeah, to me the head games are fine, but when you start to put players like when you start to actually put someone's safety in jeopardy and stuff like that with actual dirty plays, then I feel like that's where you gotta draw the line there. Javon Levi with the basketball here. 4-point deficit for the Vaqueros. 5:16 on the clock. Going to work on Yvonne. It's a strong D, but Yvonne does not budge. Aggie's going the other way. Gets it to Terrell. To Jabari, and he's going to drive it. Would have been an easy finish for Yvonne, but we got a foul on the floor. And it is the bonus situation, so this should be free throws for Bari, it looks like. Points and 4 boards, fresh off of a career game last night. I'm saying last night, meaning our live stream last night, but a couple days ago in real time against Utah Valley, where he hit that game-winning shot. I'm already off to a good start here, pretty much on pace for a double-double, which has become a growing trend these past couple games for him. I want to say he finished with, I think it was 8 rebounds in the last game against Utah Valley. And he did have a double-double a couple games before that. So, again, a guard who really crashes the boards, and that's so big for New Mexico State. Take the pressure off some of these big men. And other guards are going to help do that. You'll have Jabari, you'll have CJ Roberts this upcoming season, who averaged a little over 3 rebounds per game at Ranger College. I don't expect him to average 3 rebounds per game at UTRGV, because at New Mexico State because it's a step up in the competition, but still he's going to be crashing the glass. Big Will, I'm sure, will be putting up numbers. Johnny. Should be a pretty solid rebounding team. It is buffering here. Again, this video is fully downloaded, so that's actually, as we see, I was gonna pause it, but we got this going on right here. Yeah, that buffering thing is actually part of the video, so if I rewind it, we'll find that buffering thing again. I don't know why that's a part of it. But yeah, it looks like this is between, I believe this is between Terrell Brown, right? Let's see, I think Terrell might be wrong here, but let's see. With Levi, yeah. I wouldn't even say between Terrell. I was mostly Levi going up to him. Although obviously I don't know what was said there by either of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was only called on Levi, right? I don't think they called anything on. As you can see there, I think that's what started it. Varner dropping that ball between Yvonne's legs. But I think, no, I think they did call something on Terrell too. I want to say it was both Terrell and Javon. Let me put volume on.
Bentita.
Instead of just me speculating with it muted like an idiot, let's just put the volume on.
And then CJ Bobbitt said something, and he might have been teed up. The officials are sorting this out at the scorer's table. There's been, I don't know if bad blood's the right phrase for it, but there's been some chippiness with these two teams the last couple of years.
Yeah, but it's been a good hard game today. Let's see if we can get an answer from JP Godetto. He goes and talks to Chris Jans before us.
How about Jabari Rice during all that, trying to get his team together?
Yes.
He's only a redshirt sophomore, and he was leading there like a senior.
Yes, and it's not just that he's not just leading the Aggies by making game-winning shots and scoring a lot of points. It's also sort of outlook for Jabari Rice, the Houston sophomore.
Right there. That's where Levi said something.
Well, that was the technical. It's hard to know.
Number 14, Javon Levi is first. Second, number 22, Jordan Jackson is third.
And I think you're right. I think they gave one to Jordan Jackson for dumping the ball on Ivan Aure-Coechea.
It was Varner who dumped the ball. Jackson was
I think they rescinded this thing on Jackson. I might be wrong. Let's see.
at the PA announcer's chair. They announced Jackson, but Jackson was on the bench.
They meant Leslie Varner, you think?
Correction, no technical foul, number 22 for the Pharaohs.
There wasn't much flow to the game anyway, but this will halt that, whatever flow there was.
Technical foul on the Pharaohs, number 11, Leslie Varner, second foul. Foul on New Mexico State, technical foul, number 3, Terrell Brown is first, 16.
There we go. So they're calling it on Javon Levi, Leslie Varner, and Terrell Brown. So there's just a little bit of confusion there. Because I was gonna say, I think I would remember, because that would have sent Jordan Jackson out of there since he had that first one called on Yvonne earlier. So 3 players getting teed up for that. And I remember we're gonna have the rest of this game on mute, but pretty much every time, I want to say the rest of the entire game, that Levi touched the basketball, they booed him, which is pretty funny. Which we will see here. Let me put it on.
Jay Bobbitt. Now, Bobbitt's name was initially announced. So was Jordan Jackson's.
Bobbitt's usually pretty calm. It would surprise me if...
Chris Freeman. Levi will reset for UTRGV. And he's fouled by Sean Buchanan.
I don't know if they were booing him there, but yeah, they pretty much booed him the rest of the game, which is funny. But we got a foul here. Sean's trying to draw the charge as he usually does. Not this time. Yeah, a little chippiness already. So we got an 8-point deficit. Here, I'm sure they are booing him.
Look how thick and strong he is. I mean, it's a
Yeah, as you can hear right there, they are booing him. Yeah, I don't mind the where Varner drops the ball in front of Yvonne. I honestly didn't mind it too much. I mean, is it like the classy thing to do? No, but to me personally, I feel like it always makes it a little bit more interesting when you get one team in the conference. It's like that. But yeah, definitely they took it a bit far here this game. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you feel like where you feel that line is between just being a team that gets in your head and a team that plays dirty. I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on that. So we got a 6-point contest right now with 4:20 left in the first half. Once we get to halftime, we will look up the box score, all that good stuff, and then we'll get into the final 20 minutes. Good defense there by Jabari, pokes it away from Quinton Johnson. The second, yeah, a guy that not a lot of people were talking about in the conference this season, but 7 points as a freshman is pretty impressive, especially when you have all these other dominant scorers, these guys that need the ball in their hand, like Leslie Varner or Jordan Jackson. I'm really interested in seeing what he does this upcoming season with both of them gone. So we got a short break here. Karen Montano, what do you think of Darth Maul returning the Clone Wars again? I mean, I was probably one of my biggest complaints just about the actual original franchise was just that I feel like they didn't truly capitalize on how cool of a character he was with his early depth, and as we see Marcus Watson there for Oklahoma State. So definitely I wanted to see more of him. So I mean, I'm happy about that. Because definitely I felt like they could have gotten a lot more out of him. As we see Jans here in the Phantom Menace.
More time off than we probably have.
Let me go back to here. Yeah, they definitely could have gotten a lot more out of him in the original franchise.
To have the whole week to just kind of take a deep breath and get off our feet a little bit. We're going to give them more time off than we probably ever have, just based on what I saw on video. It just, we're obviously depleted, so guys are practicing probably more reps than they would have in the past. It's getting into mid-late February, and guys are playing more minutes than they have. I think Rice played 38 minutes on Saturday, and certainly, other than the major injuries, we have our, the nicks and cuts along the way like everybody does. And so, again, our hope is to get them off their feet a little bit more and just try to get them to feel fresh on Saturday and obviously down the stretch as well.
There you go. Let's talk about trying to rest some of these guys before the start of conference play. Everybody banged up at this one for the Aggies, but them already locking up the first seed, which I believe they did this game. Not really as desperate to get these guys playing through their injuries. They can just rest them. As we will see later on, they are going to be resting some of these guys. Trev gradually getting his minutes back, stuff like that. as opposed to what you saw at the beginning of the season where Terrell Brown could have very easily sat out a good amount of non-conference play, but he decided to try to gut it out with his strained groin because they were lacking depth, and those were the games that really help out their seeding because it's non-conference games. They're more desperate to bring these guys out here. Or I should say the players are more desperate to get out there because at the end of the day, it's up to the players if they want to play or not. That's what Jans has always told them. He's not going to make them play through an injury. But yeah, definitely now with things locked up, they can be a little bit more conservative with it. As we see Quentin Johnson II hitting that 3 ball, and I believe that's 9 points for him already in this first half. 25-21 right now. 4-point game. UTRGV hanging around. Trebling Queen, corner, pocket rocket. Got it to go. Ball there, that is way off. Aggie's going the other way. Sean Buchanan, you I just feel like a broken record every time I say it, but you know if it's a fast break, Terrell Brown is going to that wing to shoot that 3 ball. He is going to that spot every single time. It's where he shoots the highest percentage for sure. And a lot of times, Sean Buchanan is going to be the one finding them. That just comes with chemistry, both of them being experienced players. They know the drill by now. You see Sean already backtracking, you know the drill. That's something that I think you got to give Sean a lot of credit for. Is people talk about just a general term is that he's a great passer, that he's got good court vision. As we see a great lob there by Johnny to Yvonne. But I think a big thing that makes Sean a very good passer is the fact that he knows his teammates' tendencies. To me, that's a really big thing. And that's something that I want to talk to him about when I interview him for Straight Shooter, is that it's not just making the right pass. In order to make the right pass, you have to have a general idea of where your teammates are going to be on the court. Not where they are, but where they're going to be. And I think Sean, it just comes from studying film. It comes from having a good connection with all of his teammates. He knows Terrell's making that run to the wing, so he knows already to find him there. He knows that if Yvonne has that one-on-one down low, he better feed him because Yvonne's going to take advantage of that more times than not. You know, it just comes with experience and just being a good teammate in general. So, shout out to Sean for that, man. 12-point basketball game right now with 2:11 left in the first half. Once we get to halftime, we will look up the first half box score, and then we'll get into the final 20 minutes. UTRGV trying to get back in this game. It's an 8-0 run for the Aggies as of right now. And a real quick one at that. Levi with the basketball here. Good block by Sean. That's one of the clips I was thinking about showing him, as he gets the steal. Gets it out to Terrell. No good, but it is a foul. Yeah, I was just watching this clip last night because I was trying to find defensive plays for Sean. I'm not going to end up showing him this one because there's obviously a lot of defensive clips to choose from. So this one was right outside of what made the cut. But one of his few blocks, I think Sean had, I want to say he had 3 blocks all of last season, and that was one of them. That's a tough one. To block somebody on the perimeter is always really tough, normally because you got a lot of ground you got to make up. Also because you sort of have to be on your heels a little bit just in case they drive. It's a lot more difficult to block somebody out there as opposed to if they're in the paint and there's nowhere they can go, you know. Good defense there. 14-point game. Cameron Montano, how much did you pay for the Darth Maul shoes? So the actual shoe itself was sitting, like it was on sale below retail. Because I think Jordan 1s go for $160, and these were on sale for about $120. And so I got those online, and then I sent them to my buddy, and he charged me $100 for them to get that done. So it was about $220 total, and like a month of waiting. But yeah, he's done a couple of customs for me. This is the first pair that I've owned, but I've like, whenever I get gifts for like some of my best friends who also are really into sneakers, or as we see Terrell Brown cashing in there, or stuff like that, I like to get people like custom stuff. So he's done stuff for me before, but this is the first one that I've actually gotten for myself. So yeah, $100 for the custom, which is actually really good. Like normally somebody else would probably charge around maybe like $150 for that, but yeah, no, came out really good, and it's pretty cheap too. Yeah, his Instagram is Dre the Shoe God, so DRE the Shoe God. Yeah, it does really good work. So you got an 18-point game. Free throw is good here. By, let's see if I remember this guy's name. No, okay, I was gonna say I thought this was McLean. This is 15. I don't know number 15's name. Trev going for that charge there, but doesn't get the call. So you got that one, it's good. Who's number 15? Uche Dibiamaka. Probably pronounced that wrong. I apologize to you, Uche. He gets that one to go. Yeah, the only reason why I don't get too many custom shoes is because you can only wear them so much before they start to wear out a little bit. The paint is good. Like, I can wear a decent amount. But for the most part, like, those are going to be some that I save for just really special occasions, or I'll just let them sit in like a glass case or something like that. I've got a couple shoes that are just in glass cases that I really don't wear very much, and that'll probably be one of those. He's got the Aggies breaking the press here. Yvonne going the other way, gets it to Sean. Hitting the deck, no foul. Terrell going the other way, no good. A little hectic here, but the Aggies will slow this down. So we got about a 7-second difference on the shot clock. Sean Buchanan trying to set things up here. Uche guarding him. I'm just going to call him Uche because I can't say his last name. We got a missed shot there by Terrell. And a foul, which is going to be free throws. Johnny wants to jump, but it looks like they're saying a foul instead. And it is a 1-and-1. So UTRGV a chance to tack on a couple more points before the half. Let's see if they can do that. Anthony Radin, junior forward for the Vaqueros. First of the 1-and-1, rims out. One more look for the Aggies. Sean Buchanan launching it a little too high off the glass, and that is halftime. Let's take a quick look at the statistics. Let's check it out. So for UTRGV, we have Leslie Varner II with 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, doing a little bit of everything as you would expect from him. On 2 for 4 shooting. Also with 6 points, Quentin Johnson II, to go along with 2 rebounds. And then Chris Freeman with 5 points. So a pretty quiet first half, a really quiet first half for Jordan Jackson. He has 4 points and 3 turnovers. That's somebody who had, I think it was like 26 points, something like that. In the first meeting, it was in the 20s. But a much better job by the likes of Jabari Rice and other guards in defending him in that first half. UTRGV has 12 turnovers already. Wow. I had to actually do a double take and make sure this is first half. Yeah, 12 turnovers for UTRGV and then 11 for New Mexico State. So pretty sloppy basketball from both teams, honestly, in the first 20 minutes. Vaquero is shooting 8 for 23. That is 34.8%. 4 for 14 from deep, which is 28.6%, and then 5 for 7 from the charity stripe, 71.4%. A look at New Mexico State stat: Terrell Brown, 10 points, the only double-digit scorer in the game so far, and he has 1 rebound as well. 2 for 6 shooting, 4 for 5 from the charity stripe for him. 8 points apiece for both Jabari Rice and Evan Gilliard. Jabari already with 4 rebounds, so almost on pace for another double-double. And then, like I said, 11 turnovers. The Aggies shooting 10 for 27 from the floor. That's 37%. 6 for 17 from deep, which is 35.3%. And then 3 for 16 from the charity stripe, which is 81.3%. Get into the line at will, it looks like. But definitely turnover is something that they have to monitor here in these final 20 minutes. As they have a 14-point lead right now over UTRGV, trying to improve to 13-0 in conference play. We are here on the home stretch of our journey of watching all of these games. After this, we're going to have 3 games left. I believe it's Cal State Bakersfield. No. Grand Canyon, Cal State Bakersfield, and Cal Baptist, I believe. Is a good exchange right here. I think I just want to go back and show it. Jordan Jackson, after fouling Yvonne, it looks like he does apologize here. Yvonne saying, yeah, you're good. You like to see that. Even though it definitely was intentional. At least he's apologizing. I'm assuming him and Terrell Brown were talking about that right there too. But you could read Yvonne's lips saying you're good. So the Vaqueros with the basketball here, trying to chip away. They had an early lead. I believe it was 9-2. It's a good crossover there by Varner. I mean, just a really good in-betweener where he can just bully guards, and then if he has a forward defending him like Johnny, they're just not going to be able to keep up with them. So we see Terrell Brown, corner pocket rocket, got it to go. Yeah, Varner just presents so many matchup problems. Johnny, although his footwork is improving on the perimeter this season, it's not quite at that level where you can keep up with Varner. Although right there, speaking of which, my bad, Johnny. My bad. As we got a foul call here, and I believe they're going to be booing Levi because it looks like he got hit in the eye. Let me see the replay here. Is this intentional? The ball's here, and you're grabbing here. I mean, I get that you're just trying to keep him from going up. I don't know. I think you have a good argument that maybe that's intentional as well. And we do have it muted, but they are booing Levi right now. Just believe that. I'm going to say that's intentional. Because if you're trying to keep him from going up, you're grabbing him right here. And if it makes any sense, his arm is going here and hitting him in the eye. You can grab him right here to keep him from going up, but he's going here. This angle is a lot better. That right hand, it should be a lot lower if he's just trying to hold Johnny's hand, or if he's trying to hold Johnny's forearm, if that makes sense, in his bicep. I don't know. You guys can let me know what your ruling on that one is. Normally, I'm not one that will call something dirty or intentional really quickly. But, yeah, I'm going to say that is. I don't believe they called anything. Let's let this play here.
Johnny McKeons is dealing with an eye issue.
Well, let's hope it's not a cornea or retina kind of issue.
JP Guerrero, Mark Beasley, and Ruben Ramos, the three busiest guys in the building tonight.
Honestly.
Yeah, and it's been a hard one to officiate just because both teams are playing so hard.
Doing everything in their power to keep this one under control. Common foul.
And they're going to call a common foul on that one. I think you have a case for both sides of the spectrum there. To me, I think his hand was just a little too high to where he can say all he was doing was trying to stop him from going up. But nevertheless, it is a common foul. Johnny going to the line for 2. And a good rip by Johnny. I was just talking about him struggling to keep up with Varner on the perimeter, but that's good timing. Knowing where that ball is going to come up with that steal. So one more for the Cruises Crusader. Cash Money makes it a 17-point contest. 15 for 18 from the charity stripe is New Mexico State. And that's been the difference maker so far. Varner trying to put moves on Johnny. Levi, corner pocket rocket, got it to go. I think he goes on a little bit of a run here too, I want to say. Yeah, I don't know Levi personally, but he seems like the type of player that kind of thrives off of the opposing crowd booing him and stuff like that. We got Johnny with the basketball now, gets it to Terrell Brown on the wing. Cameron Montaño, which is the longest it took you to write an article for the Sun News? That's a good question. I might have to think about that for a second. As we got Quentin Johnson knocking down his third triple. That's 9 points for him. Which is the longest? I'll say right now I'm working on something for Trev that I'm going to release as we get like maybe a week or two before draft day. So in October. So that's something I started working on like last month. Although just very gradually, just doing a couple like follow-up interviews with them, trying to talk to like former teammates, stuff like that. So that's something that I've been working on. And I guess in terms of amount of days, that's going to be the longest. But like in terms of having to actually just sit down and write it, it's usually the so we see Varner with the triple, the what he brings to the table series that I had during the season for New Mexico State, where I kind of just break down. I think I did one on Jabari, on Johnny, Trev, Yvonne, Terrell, Evan. I did a pretty good amount of them. Those take forever, because that is pretty much not only going through and watching all of the games from this past season or from this season, but then also going back and watching games from like pretty much all of their college basketball careers. Like any game I can find, I'm going back and I'm watching it in order to try to find their tendencies, find their strength, and not only that, but also see which department they improved in. Like for example, going back and watching Johnny McCance's his freshman season at New Mexico State, a redshirt freshman season, compared to right now, so that way I can see how much his three-point shot has improved, stuff like that. So it's multiple seasons worth of film that I'm watching. Those take forever. I would say like when I was working a 9 to 5 at the actual office, I would get there at 9 and I would finish at 5. Like right at 5, sometimes even past 5. And I just won't talk to anybody the whole day. I've got my headphones in. I've got like multiple laptops watching multiple games and stuff like that at 2 times speed. And so that way, just as soon as Johnny has the ball, I'll pause it, I'll slow the speed down to normal, and I'll watch it. And I'm just doing stuff like that. Like that itself takes about 8 hours of just sitting down and doing it. But yeah, that's probably the one that takes the longest, just in terms of sitting down for one period of time. So we see Jabari with the corner shot, got it to go. Makes it 47 to 36. Yeah, that's the thing. Just the like film breakdown and stuff. I don't know how as we see Jordan Jackson making the three. I genuinely don't know how guys like ESPN analysts for the actual draft, where their specialty is actually going and like breaking down the game of every single guy who might get drafted. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they sleep. I don't know how, when they eat, anything like that, because I'm able to give a pretty decent analysis, quote, like decent, because I watch these guys and this is the only team that I cover. That's how I'm able to give a decent analysis, because I see them in practice all the time. So it's a very small range of people that I have to, I guess, like, be an expert in, you know. I don't know how the actual draft combine guys know so much about everybody. Like, I'd imagine it's a lot of calling coaches just to lead them in the right direction of these guys' strengths. I'd imagine it's a lot of calling teammates and stuff like that, and then talking to the player and breaking down game film and stuff. It definitely is a very long process, so I got a lot of respect for those people, because I could never do that. I could never do that for like an entire draft class, you know? Yeah, I can't do that. So we got the Aggies right now with just an 8-point lead. UTRGV just chipping away gradually here. Shout out to NM Aggie Athletic Archive, as always, for providing this video. Definitely, if you guys haven't gone and subscribed yet, please do, because they put out a lot of great content. We see Adam and Russ, the dynamic duo. This video is going to end up being like 2 hours long because of all these stoppages for the extracurricular stuff, I'm just going to call it. But luckily, I don't have anything else going on today. I already have everything prepared for the Sean Buchanan interview, so I don't have to work on that this weekend. I'm not doing much this weekend. I'm not. I'll start collecting Aggie mailbag on Monday, and I'll try to collect enough for 2 weeks worth, so that way I can have one ready for you guys the following week when I'm on vacation. And then at some point this week, I will talk to another person for Stray Shooter. I don't know who yet. I was going to have Sean recommend someone for me, and I think I'll still be able to do that, because if I talk to Sean on Monday, I'll ask him, and then as soon as the interview's over, I'll reach out to the SID and I'll just say, hey, can I talk to this player sometime this week before the end of Friday. So I think I can make that work. But yeah, I don't know who that second person will be. You see a great backdoor cut and a great find by Evan Gilliard. Cameron Montano, what are some strengths of Jabari Rice? I would say definitely his finishing ability is a big strength for him, and then just quite literally his strength is what allows that for him. The fact that he's been filling out his frame a lot more since he got to New Mexico State has been really big, not just for the actual finishing ability, but I would say his confidence as well. Anytime I've talked to him, he said that it really just helped his confidence. Now that he's able to hang a little bit more with some of these guys down low. So we see another opportunity here, and we're going to have a jump. So I would say that. I would say his ability to crash the glass is really big. I've talked about that a lot. The fact that he was 4th in the team in offensive rebounds last season despite being 6'4". And a lot of that is just his hustle, honestly. Because you see a lot of guards where once that shot goes up, they're kind of hanging around the perimeter. No, I'm not trying to throw shade at Terrell because he plays a different playing style than Jabari. But in that case, in Terrell's case, he's already making his way to the wing on the other end for the shot. And you need certain players to play certain roles, so I'm not faulting Terrell for that. But Jabari is different in the sense that once that shot goes up, Jabari is actually going to the rim to possibly get a rebound or something like that, as opposed to getting back on the other side of the court. So crashing the glass, another big strength for him. I'd say his lateral quickness on the defensive side of the ball is really good. He stays in front of guys really well. And he's got a pretty good wingspan too, at 6'4", especially if at the next level he wants to just play the point guard position, which I think he could. He can handle the ball well enough. I think that would be his best chance to really stand out at that next level, because 6'4" at the shooting guard spot is nothing special in the NBA. But at the point guard spot, that definitely is solid. And I think he is a good enough defender to where he could guard that one spot at the next level. By the time he graduates, I think he could be good enough. Yeah, he's just a really well-rounded player on both sides of the ball. Somebody that wants to learn a lot. I've talked to Jans about that off the record, which normally I don't like to tell you guys off the record conversation, so I won't get into the details, but Jabari is one of those guys that Jans really preaches about or praises when talking about just the guys who have the hardest work ethic, who want to learn the most. Jabari is definitely up there. Stephen M., can you make the Sean interview show longer? You always leave your viewers / fans wanting more. Yeah, I mean, so the thing is with Straight Shooter, the thing during the season, I was really told by my regional editor and just by, higher ups that they wanted me to keep it at a certain time frame because it was an experimental thing. If you look at least in our market size within USA Today, there really are no other sports podcasts. There's none that are kind of doing that. So I was kind of in a little bit of uncharted territory. They didn't know what length is too long, what length is too short, and so they kind of limited me to about 15 minutes. Their reasoning for it was that in the 15-minute drive, you can go anywhere in cruises. You can go from point A to point B on opposite sides of cruises, and so they wanted me to keep it the length of you can start and finish a podcast in the car. Pretty much was their reasoning behind it, which I get, because obviously like drives are a time when you're going to listen to the podcast, and so they wanted it to wrap up by the time they get out their car. But with this, they really kind of just gave me just free reign to make it as long as I want, as short as I want. And since I didn't really know how long to make it, I've kind of just left it up to the player. So I won't interrupt them during the film breakdown. I'll just let them go in as in depth as they want. You look at guys like Evan, he got really in depth, and I think that video turned out to be like 25 minutes. You look at guys like Will, where his analysis of the play was a little bit shorter, and I think it came out to like a 14-minute video. So I'm kind of just at that point where I'm leaving it up to the players. However much they want to talk is however long it's going to be, and I think that's good, because if I really drag it on to where I have like 6 or 7 segments, or if the fan Q&A section is like 10 questions, stuff like that, then I think it can make the player kind of want to get out of there a little bit, since it is the summer, and a lot of them are with their families right now. I kind of just let them be a part of the interview as long as they want to. And so that way, while we are talking, they're giving me all their energy. They're being, a great interview, as opposed to if I say, hey, I need this to be a 30-minute interview, and maybe they're already sick of me by 15 minutes, So that's kind of my mindset from it, is just letting them control how long each episode is, and it's just going to vary depending on the player. We got Jabari Rice with the free throw. UTRGV still chipping away, 6-point game with 11:35. They're in this one. But yeah, trust me, the whole length of these videos has been like a big topic of conversation since I started Straight Shooter with like my bosses and all that kind of stuff. And it's still not perfect, definitely. I do want to make the Straight Shooter ones during the season a little bit longer, which I think it just naturally will be once we make it video based, because there won't be as many edits or anything like that. It'll just be more natural, raw film, similar to Straight Shooter. Yeah, I would guess straight shooter is going to be around 20 minutes now during the season as opposed to 15, maybe even a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. But I'd imagine with Sean specifically, I think we're going to have a pretty long video because he's somebody who breaks down plays as well as anyone on the team. He wants to be a coach eventually, if not immediately. And I've got a couple good plays that I'm going to be showing him that he can really break down. So my guess would be that this one will be over 20 minutes. 4-point contest right now. Speaking of Sean, he has the basketball here, gets it down low to Yvonne. The patience, man. The patience, the footwork. That's another one of those where I think I'm going to write that in my notes just in case, or when I do talk to Yvonne, that's going to be on the list of possible videos I show him, possible clips. Yvonne, 110-30 versus UTRGV. Jabari Rice with the 3-ball, got it to go. Yeah, my notes right now is pretty much any player that I haven't talked to yet, as we got a foul on Sean. Any player that I haven't talked to yet, I've got a list of plays that I'm considering showing them whenever I do eventually talk to them. And it's usually like 6 or 7 plays, and then I narrow it down to 3. So Yvonne, I want to say I already have, let me see, how many do I have for Yvonne now? I've got 4 for Yvonne already. Whenever I do talk to him. Obviously the guys who contribute the most, like Yvonne, there's a couple plays just right off the bat. As soon as I said, hey, I'm going to interview Yvonne at some point, I already know a couple that I want to show him. Like with Trev, I already know a couple that I definitely want to show him, like the off the backboard, alley-oop dunk, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I've got a couple for Yvonne already, and some other players. So we got Terrell Brown driving, thriving, makes it a double-digit game with 9:30 on the clock. I'm glad that the videos end though, and that you guys want to see more, because it is a little bit long. Like, to be 25 minutes, definitely I know 25 minutes of anything can get boring at some point. I personally don't have a very long attention span, so like sitting down for these live streams, sometimes I'll like zone out or go on a rant just because I can't focus on the game itself for too long. But I'm glad that you guys are really enjoying the web series. So we got an 11-point game with 9:08. Terrell Brown with the basketball here on the wing. Calls off the screen by Yvonne. Sean, a little no-look pass. Jabari Cash Money. Filthy pass there by Sean. Saw him the whole way, but gave him the little no-look. 14-point game right now with 8:40 left in this contest. 10 for 25 shooting for New Mexico State from deep. That's what, that's like 40%, I think. So pretty solid. Turnover there leads to a bucket by Levi. One game with 8 minutes. But in terms of longer videos, I don't know. I've had a lot of people, as we see Johnny with the dunk, I've had a lot of people say that they want me to talk to Coach Jans, which I definitely will at some point this summer. I don't know if I want to do the hometown heat thing with them and a throwback thing. I don't know how that would work. So I'm thinking instead of that, I'm thinking instead of that and having like a 20-minute, as we see the layup there by Sean, instead of that and having like a 20-minute thing, I might actually just compose a bunch of questions for Jans and just do a Zoom interview with them and just have it be way longer than that. And so there's going to be a lot less antics, I guess, with the hometown heat and all that, and just more so a straight Q&A that's going to be over 30 minutes long. I think that might be what I'll do with Coach, because I know you guys could listen to a Jans interview for like an hour. I don't think he'd want to sit down with me for an hour, but I think I could do like a 30-minute thing of just having him answer the questions you guys really want to know, as opposed to wasting some of the time on like a hometown heat thing or a throwback photo thing, you know what I mean? So you guys can let me know what you think about that. Definitely at some point I'll be talking to Jans this summer. On the record, I should say. We talked a couple times during the year, or during this quarantine. Nothing on video, nothing on audio so far. Sean Buchanan at the free throw line now. As we see, Evan just got his number called, it looks like. He's taking off the warm-up shirt and head into the line, the scorer's table. I see CJ talking over there. Are they subbing him out for CJ? No, they got to be subbing him out for, I'd imagine, Sean. Once this is on the next dead ball. Yeah, it looks like it. Javon Levi driving the kick out, and they're going to call it travel on McClain. Can we see that one more time? It did look like he took that step there before dribbling. Yeah, now we got Buchanan out, Gilliard in. 7 minutes and change left. 14 turnovers for New Mexico State, which is a lot, but I believe that's only 3 in this first half, in the second half. So they have been better so far. Still not great, but better. CJ, good extra pass down low, and an even better extra pass by Jabari, and that leads to the triple. Courtesy of Terrell Brown. Tea time. Yes, sir. Tea time. It's the nickname that he went with when we talk for straight shooter. So we see the answer there by, oh no, this, what was his name? I'm thinking Udeke, but I know it's not Udeke. What was his name? Uche. There we go. Dibiamaka. Jabari Rice with the ball here. Gets it down low to CJ. The bump doesn't matter. Yes, sir. And this game has officially gotten away from the Vaqueros. 17-point lead for New Mexico State. 5:45 on the clock. Levi driving. And they're calling that on the floor. Evan, you know he's always searching for that charge, but they won't give it to him there. Oh yeah, Evan has a good amount of tattoos. Because I was still trying to think of guys to do that tattoo tours thing with. I knew he had some, but I couldn't remember just how many he has. But yeah, it looks like he's got it like on both arms. So we got, I believe that's Levi selling it a bit. He definitely got fouled, but he wanted to make sure the ref saw it there. Or was that Varner? Yeah, that was Varner. So free throws for him. What are they looking at here? Surely not like anything called on Johnny. I mean CJ. So the foul was on Johnny reaching in. I didn't see anything extra there. Free throws for Varner. He's got 15 and 6. Another good performance by him. First one is good. Aggies are in the bonus already. There's 5:41 left in this contest. They got themselves a pretty comfortable lead here. The second one by Varner is up, and it's good. Makes it a 15-point contest. 5:45 or 5:41 left. Shout out to everybody who is tuning in and watching this video. I don't think I've said that yet. I know I say that normally like 2 or 3 times per video. But shout out to everybody for tuning into this, whether you guys are watching this live or on repeat. I appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying this, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. You see CJ with the ball down low, almost gets the and one. He'll get free throws. I was editing the Johnny McCants video a couple days ago. I don't know why y'all didn't tell me, but I say definitely after every single time that somebody talks. Like, if you go back and watch it, it will really annoy you guys. And it annoyed me so much when I was editing it. Like, I say definitely after every single time that Johnny finished talking. And so, like, I'm going to make it a conscious effort now to switch it up. There's just not many ways to respond. Like, if somebody's talking to you for like a full 30 seconds to a minute, there's not too many ways to be like cool and then transition to the next thing. So I guess my natural thing is to say definitely. But I legit said it like over 20 times in that video. In like a 17-minute video. So I'm going to try my best to limit that in the upcoming video with Sean. Definitely is definitely something I'm not going to say as often. But yeah, I would not recommend turning like a drinking game or something out of that, because I say it way too much. Stephen M says, great show tonight. Appreciate that, Stephen. Yeah, so now I've just been thinking of different ways to transition. I think I'm going to say like gotcha or for sure. Just little differences. Because yeah, nobody brought it up to me, surprisingly, because I went back at some of the older ones and I do the same thing. That's just something I've been saying without even really realizing it. But yeah, it was annoying me so much when I was editing it, and there was like no way to edit it out. You know, so I just had to deal with it. So you see a look at the WAC tournament. I believe this is the game where New Mexico State locked up the first seed. WAC Vegas made the trip out there. Stephen M, definitely a great show, yeah. Oh man, I probably shouldn't even have brought it up, because now I'm sure people are going to be looking out for it and stuff. That's why I didn't want to say anything on like Twitter or anything like that. But yeah, if you go back and watch it, it's every single time that Johnny finishes talking. Leslie Varner, the mid-range pull-up, got it to go again. Do you have a guard trying to defend him to keep up with them? Do you put a big man on there and just get burned on the perimeter? Standing at 6'7", but plenty mobile. Plenty mobile, I should say. Very tough guard. So we got a 14-point game, 4:24 on the clock, and what are they looking at now? Those refs have been busy this game. They have been busy. That's why this video is like an hour and 40-some minutes. Plus, once this game's over, we will look at my final score prediction. We'll look at the final box score. And then we will look at quotes from the team as well. Who did we talk to after the game? I'm actually going to try to remember this time because I never can. I want to say it was Jabari. And I want to say it was 2 players that we talked to. But I don't remember the second one. I think it was, I'm going to say Jabari and Johnny. But I'm probably wrong because I'm never right about that. I always forget. Let me look that up right now. Get all that stuff squared away. And as you guys know, I always struggle to find my old articles. Yeah, this was the game where they won the outright WAC title because the last game secured a share for them. Or maybe it was the game before, but this gave them the outright. Okay, there is my preview game. As we see a look at the final 3 games for New Mexico State, GCU, Cal State Bakersfield, Cal Baptist. Again, they're still looking at something there. Not sure what it is. Alright, found the recap article. Let's find that there. Cool. We got to talk to Coach Jans, Jabari Rice, and Evan Gilliard after the game. Cool. So we'll have that, and then we'll have the final box score as well, of course. Can't forget it. And then I'm getting some sleep. I normally don't go to sleep. I can't remember the last time I went to sleep like before 10, but I think I'm getting some rest as soon as this is over. It's been 3 straight nights of staying up past like 4 a.m. So we are resting up, and we'll still have the live streams on the weekends, tomorrow and Sunday, but other than that, I'm catching up on sleep the rest of this weekend. Because this upcoming week is going to be really busy with getting those extra episodes done for you guys for the following week. So we got Jabari Rice with the basketball here. Gets it down low to Yvonne. The kick out. But they're calling the travel. Would have been a made 3 there by Bobbitt. And another break. Another break. I think I remember we had to push the deadline for this one, because I normally have 5 minutes after the game's over to send it in the print, because it usually ends up finishing at around, I think like 9:30, somewhere around there, since games are normally 7 o'clock start time. But I think I remember this one running long, and we actually, I was messaging our design team, which is based out in Phoenix, and I'm pretty sure I was telling them hey, y'all gotta give me an extra 15 or 20 or something like that, because this game's still going. Right now, the game normally would have been over 5 or 10 minutes ago. This one ran long because of all those reviews and stops and whatnot. The extracurricular, which is all I'm gonna call it. But either way, a 14-point lead for New Mexico State. They are on their way to advancing to 13-0 in conference play. The win streak staying alive. Johnson down low, no good. Jabari Rice with the board. And a steal by Levi. I think one of 3 for him, or 1 of 2 for him so far. And then Barner, the midi. Something he does so well. 5 steals for the Vaqueros, 6-4, New Mexico State. Trying to get another one there, but Trev will break the press. And at this point, the Aggies pretty content with just slowing it down and getting out of here with a victory in front of their home crowd. Kick out to Jabari. Right back to Yvonne. Yes, sir. The Spaniard. 15 offensive rebounds for New Mexico State. Is that what that said? Jeez. I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, they've been getting a lot this game, but 15, wow. they had a good stretch of games during WAC play where they were getting single-digit offensive boards, and that was something that Jans was really putting a point of emphasis on, which was turning that around, and they definitely did that in this game. 15 of them. $14-point lead for the Aggies right now, with 2:48 left in this contest. Home stretch of this one, and the home stretch of this journey of ours to watch these games. Stephen M., will you take a holiday tomorrow and no show? Now that I think about it, I forgot it was going to be, I forgot this is the week of 4th of July. Because they do give us a holiday, and they give us the option. The good thing is they give us the option to where we can use it at any day of that week. So I could have used it earlier, and I haven't yet. I didn't even really think about that. I've been kind of focused on the mailbag and straight shooter and all that. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. I think I'm gonna take off tomorrow then for the live stream and get back to it the next day. Just because they don't like when we don't use the holiday hours. Because our regional editor will get upset with our local editor here that our staff isn't using them. So they're probably gonna want me to take that day off now that I think about it. So yeah, thanks for reminding me. But okay, so tomorrow there will be no live stream, but then the next day we'll get back at it with the game against Grand Canyon. As we got the steal by Levi on Trev, and that is his third steal of this game. And the finish. Yeah, normally I would still do the live stream, but I've worked on holidays before, and they'll actually get mad at me, and they'll tell me that they want me to, or they need me to take the day off because they can get in trouble for not providing it for their employees. So yeah, that is what I will do. Shami Cannon with the ball here, gets it to Trev. He's gonna have to put this one up. A little fader. That one is way off, and it will be a shot clock violation because it did not hit rim. Didn't come close to hitting rim there. But a 15-point game with 50.7 left. I completely forgot that tomorrow's 4th of July. Because, I mean, I'm not celebrating or anything, you know. I don't go outside unless I have to. And I'm not, like, bringing people over, inviting people or anything like that. So, yeah, I had completely forgotten. Von Levi drawing the foul here. So, yeah, again, guys, no live stream tomorrow while we're on the holiday. And then we'll get back to it on Sunday with the game against Grand Canyon at 6 p.m. Stephen M., you're hardcore, take a break. It's not even that I'm neglecting the holiday. I just forget, honestly. And, like, it's also the fact that I don't have any family here. So, like, I'm sure if I was living home, we'd have something planned, you know what I mean? But I don't have anything, like, any gatherings or anything like that, so I just forget. Honestly, I didn't even remember. Yeah, no, I probably could have taken it off earlier in the week, but with like the straight shooter and the mailbag thing and all that, I didn't have time to do it earlier in the week. 14-point game. 26 seconds left. There's that buffering thing. I don't know what that is. Again, I download these videos beforehand. What does that say? Because look, me going back right now, it's not the fact that the video hasn't loaded. Yeah, because this is part of the video. So what does it say there? There is an issue playing your stream Oh, okay. So this video is a recording of a live stream, and I guess during that, while this video was being recorded, it had its like connection problems, I guess, and that's what this is. Oh, okay, gotcha. 3 ball there by Levi is no good, and that is going to do it. 78-62. New Mexico State advancing to 13-0 in conference play. CJ hyped up. My final score prediction for this one was pretty off. This one I had it at 73-67 in favor of New Mexico State. About or exactly 5 points off of each team. It's not too bad, but you see Sean Buchanan hopping around the outright whack champions. Let's take a look at the final box score. Or let's hear from Jans right away. Might as well.
Final score 78-62. The Aggies win their 5th outright WAC regular season title in the previous 6 years tonight. Adam Young joined by head coach Chris Jans. This one was physical. It was a little chippy at times as well, and your guys pulled it out, coach.
We expected that kind of battle. You know, they had been playing very well, 6 in a row, have a lot of confidence. We respect the heck out of what Coach Hill and the staff have done, and they keep getting better and better, and they gave us everything we had. We won by 16, but it felt like 6 because it was a very physical game, and we certainly didn't get out of the gates very well, but we finally got it going and got the win.
Big lift here today off the bench from Terrell Brown.
I really hope he knew that guy who just came up and kissed him on the shoulder. Kissed him
Finally got it going.
on the shoulder. I mean, I get you like Coach Jans, but that better be somebody that he knows personally. I'm just saying.
And got the win.
Big lift here today off the bench from Terrell Brown.
Yeah, it was nice to see him back on the floor. Obviously, he didn't suit up the last game, and he practiced Wednesday a little bit and then Friday, so we knew we were going to have him today. And it's nice to have someone come off the bench that has a little pop to him, and certainly Terrell does that. And the ball was going through the hole, and then he got to the rim there in the second half. It was good to see.
You weren't pleased with the defense last weekend. Did you get back to what you like to do defensively?
We were better. We were much better. I thought we had a little more grimy to us, moving our puppies a little bit more, and we didn't take as many charges as we normally do. But I thought our ball screen coverage was better, more on point. We were more physical, happy with the rebounding numbers, so hopefully this will move us forward.
Lastly, Coach, you've been here 3 years, 3 outright titles. What does that mean?
Yeah, it feels great. You know, I love watching the kids celebrate and jump around, and you know that's why we do what we do. You know, certainly it's nice to get out of the way. We're not going to relax at all. We're going to keep grinding and keep trying to get better. Certainly we got bigger goals in mind, but it's nice to certainly win the regular season conference championship.
Congrats, Coach. Go enjoy it.
Thanks, Adam.
It's Aggie head coach Chris Jans.
There we go. All right, to look at the first half, or not the first half, the final box score, guys. I really am pretty tired right now. 23 points for Leslie Barnard II. Great showing for him to go along with 6 rebounds, 2 dimes, 2 steals, filling up the stat sheet as always. 9 for 11 shooting from the floor. 13 points for Javon Levi to go along with 11 assists, a double-double. As good of a passer in the country in terms of the assist rate. It's not too surprising there. Jordan Jackson, bit of a rough night for him. 7 points on 3 for 4 shooting. Really just didn't throw up a lot of shots. Give a lot of credit to Jabari Rice for guarding him. In this one, I think we saw a little bit of Trevlin Queen as well. After having over 20 points last time, he also had 5 turnovers in this one. UTRGV in total had 17 turnovers. Vaqueros shot 22 for 48 from the floor. That's 45.8%. 10 for 24 from the three-point line, which is 41.7%. And an 8 for 11 from the charity stripe, which is 72.7%. A team-high 20 points for Jabari Rice to go along with 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. A little bit of everything, a lot of everything actually, on 5 for 13 shooting, 7 for 8 from the charity stripe for him. 18 points right behind him for Terrell Brown to go along with 2 boards and a dime, and that's 5 for 9 shooting. And then 9 points for Ivan Adekoechea and 10 rebounds, so 1 point shy of a double-double. Still a good performance out of him on 4 for 9 shooting. 18 turnovers for the Aggies. Yikes, 18 turnovers. They still come out with the win. They shot 24 for 53 from the floor. That's 45.3%. 12 for 29 from deep. That is 41.4%. And then 18 for 24 from the cherry stripe. That was a big difference maker. 10 extra points compared to the Vaqueros. They shot 75% from the charity stripe. Let's take a look at quotes from this game. We just heard from Coach Jans, but we heard a little bit more from him afterwards. Don't tell me it just kicked me out of this article. Now I got to find it again. It shouldn't be that hard, because I think the title is Outright something. Outright Whack Champs or Outright Champs. There you go. Alright, this one was actually easy to find for once. This is Coach Jans talking about UTRGV's toughness. He says they play really, really hard. We expected a hard-nosed, back alley type of competitive game. We knew that. We talked about it until we were blue in the face. We have a lot of respect for how they compete. We knew they'd come out and try to smack us in the mouth, and they did. Back alley type of game, I think, is a really good way of putting that by Jans. We talked to Jabari Rice as well. Here's him talking about overcoming the slow start because they were down 9-2 to start this one. He says, I think in the first half, like the first 10 minutes, we kind of struggled. We got off to a slow start, but Jans kept the fire under us. We trusted in ourselves, we trusted in each other, and we started to get multiple stops together. Yeah, slow start, but I think Jabari's exactly right. The defensive side of the ball is where they really started to build their momentum, forcing all of those turnovers, because I think they had 12, UTRGV had 12 in the first half, or 11, something like that. That definitely got them going. And then Evan Gilliard talking about the title after transferring from UTEP and now being a WAC champion at New Mexico State. He says, I've never felt the feelings that I felt when I cut down the net. It was a great experience. I love the guys that I'm playing with, and I feel like we all put each other in a good situation. But guys, that is going to do it for me tonight and for tomorrow as well. No live stream tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoy your 4th of July and you are smart and you are safe about all of that. But yeah, I will see you guys the following day on Sunday as the Aggies take on Grand Canyon. They're quote-unquote rivals, because I got to put the quote so y'all don't get mad at me. Yeah, they will face the Lopes. They will face them on the road, and that's actually a game that I traveled out to. So that'll be pretty cool to rewatch that game Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Hopefully you all will join me for that. But for now, I think that is going to do it. Stephen M says, be safe, rest up, be safe as well, Stephen. And thank you to everybody who watched this. If you guys did enjoy this, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notification bell so you get notified every single time that we upload here, because we're doing this as often as we possibly can, trying to bring you guys a bunch of content. And that's going to do it for me, guys. It's been Justin Martinez, a.k.a. Jay the Sports Dude, and I'm out.